Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah. So let's get started. So welcome everyone. Uh, this is the 16th episode of Fun with Heroes. So we have come a long way. And these are the heroes actually we'll be discussing this week. Now, again, do you know anyone? Okay, very famous personalities. Do you know anyone? I can give you one background. Okay, some simple background about everyone. Like there is one army officer who got Paramveer Chakra. There is someone, a follower of Mahatma Gandhi. He's a very famous in Maharashtra and he's a very known social worker. Then there is another.
Sir, can I tell one famous personality?
Yeah, I didn't get you. Yeah.
Can I tell the one
Yes,
famous
yeah, yeah,
personality?
yes, yes. Please go ahead.
Uh, the personality in the bottom right corner is Baba Amte.
Exactly, correct. That's right. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, he's Baba Amte, right? Yeah, so we'll have a story of Baba Amte. Then we have someone who was an author or writer, an educationist. He was also a minister in Jawaharlal Nehru government. I think he did a lot of amazing things during the freedom struggle and after that. So we have someone from Punjab, okay, who took a revenge of Jallianwala Bagh. Okay, so we'll see the story. So there are a lot of amazing stories we have in different corners of the country, right? There is someone from Gujarat, there is someone from Maharashtra, there is someone from Punjab, there is someone from Jharkhand, actually. So let's see, okay, what we have today. So the first story we have is Udham Singh. You might have heard his name, okay, and there is also a movie coming on this personality, okay, probably this year or next year, the movie will be coming. But who was Udham Singh? So Udham Singh was born on 26 December 1899 in Sunam in Sangrur district of Punjab. He was born as Sher Singh. His name was Sher Singh at the time of his birth. Uh, Soon after, when he was young, very young, his father died. So he was raised by a Central Khalsa orphanage in Putligarh in Amritsar.
his mother?
Yeah, she was also not there. So he didn't have any family. So he and his brother were raised in an orphanage. And at the orphanage, he received a new name, which is Udham Singh. So from Sher Singh, he became Udham Singh. Now, on 13th April 1999, which is a very sad day in Indian history, that a large number of people gathered at the Jallianwala Bagh in Amritsar to protest.
Non-violent protesters.
Yes, they came to protest against the arrest of national leaders. That at the time non-cooperation movement was going on, and to show the support, a number of people from Punjab came to the Jallianwala Bagh. And Jallianwala Bagh, okay, I'm not sure if you have visited. I have visited actually. So there is a single entrance. Okay? There is a narrow entrance and there is an open ground.
The British closed the entrance, and then it's there in our English. The British closed the entrance so the protesters could not escape, and then General Dyer and the British military fired at them continuously for 10 minutes, killing 1,200 people and injuring 379.
Right, exactly. That's the story actually. So the Udham Singh was at that time there, who was okay serving water to the people. He was doing the voluntary work when the protests were going on, and then General Dyer, as Riti mentioned, General Dyer came. They closed the gate. Okay, so there was no other exit, and then ordered without any warning, they opened the fire on the people who were there. So there was no way to escape. Someone tried to climb the wall. Some people jump in the well, and even till date, if you visit that place, okay, you can see the marks of the bullets there. Okay, so
It's written in one of my books, Amritsar Katha books, that Bhagat Singh visited and he saw those bullets, and he said, this will be a memoir for all of them.
yes, exactly. And similar to Bhagat Singh, as I mentioned, Udham Singh was there. Okay, he was serving the volunteers. He did die in that, but he was okay. He was a kind of a witness to this entire thing. Okay, he saw the killing of innocent man there, so he vowed to take revenge for this act. He was very young that time. Okay, and then after that he got involved in the revolutionary activities and even traveled to different parts of the country and outside country. He went to US. Okay, in 1924 he was in US and he joined the Ghadar Party. Ghadar Party was another revolutionary organization which was operating from the USA that time. Then he came back to India in 1927, following the instruction of Bhagat Singh. He had a talk with Bhagat Singh. He asked him to come back. He came back here, but after coming back, he was arrested. Udham Singh was arrested and jailed for doing the revolutionary activities and carrying the ammunition. After his release, okay, from jail, he changed names and managed to escape from India and went to Germany via Kashmir in 1931. And that was his life for next 10 years, that he continued changing the names, assumed different identities, ultimately reached Europe and finally reached London. And he worked as a mechanic, he worked as a different, in a different forms, okay? But his ultimate objective is to take the revenge of Jallianwala Bagh, okay? And that opportunity came.
Did he take revenge?
Yeah, I will come to that. Okay, so that opportunity came in 1940. Okay, so on 13th March 1940, General Dyer was in London. He was addressing a meeting at the Caxton Hall, London. There was a meeting, big meeting, and
exactly 21 years after Jallianwala Bagh.
Yes, and Udham Singh had a gun. He had a revolver, so he went there. He somehow managed to gain the entry at the hall. And as the meeting was coming close, General Dyer was leaving the hall. He fired at him, and the Dyer died instantly there. And Udham Singh did not run away from there. He got himself arrested. During the trial, he spoke about why he did this. Okay, because he wanted to take a revenge of Jallianwala Bagh, which was something that General Dyer did deliberately. He also went on a hunger strike for 42 days in jail. Ultimately, it was a British court. He was convicted and he was hanged on 31st July 1940 in London, in Pentonville prison. Okay. And his ashes, so the part of his ashes were actually brought back to Jallianwala Bagh. They are still there. Okay. Until date, the 31st July, on the day on which he was hanged, is celebrated as a martyrdom day or Shahid Day in Punjab and Haryana. Okay, so this day, on this day, he is still remembered. The sacrifice is remembered. So that is the story of Udham Singh, who revenged the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. The next story we have, as we came to know earlier, so Baba Amte, his full name is Muralidhar Devidas Amte. So who was he? So Muralidhar Devidas Amte was born in the city of Hinganghat in Wardha district of Maharashtra on 26 December 1914. He was from a wealthy family, okay, and he acquired the nickname of Baba in his childhood. So he was lovingly called Baba. So that's how name became famous as a Baba Amte. He was from a wealthy family, and he would, in his young days, when he was young, he would hunt wild animals and drive luxurious cars and all the luxurious items he had. Okay, and he became a lawyer. He had a successful legal practice in Wardha. But at that time, the freedom struggle and a lot of other socialist movement was going on. So he was deeply influenced by Mahatma Gandhi, Rabindranath Tagore, and Sanak Guruji. So, and he joined the Indian freedom movement under the influence of Gandhiji and participated in all the major satyagrahas. Okay. So he gave up the comfortable life. As I mentioned, he was he belonged to a wealthy family, but after this, he gave up the comfortable life and started living the austral life.
What, life. Uncle? I got the voice was breaking for me.
Okay, yeah. So I will repeat that. So he gave up his comfortable life. Okay, after as he participated in the satyagraha, and he started living the simple life. He started wearing khadi, which was very common, okay, for all the satyagrahis that time. So he also became one of them.
Like Jawaharlal Nehru.
Yeah, Jawaharlal Nehru, Sardar Patel. You see all the freedom fighters of that time, Rajendra Prasad, Rajgopalachari. Everyone was wearing khadi. That also they also themselves made khadi. Okay, this was not like something they bought from market. They will make the khadi and then they will stitch it to make the clothes. So Baba Amte also started doing the same. Gandhiji gave him actually a nickname called Abhay Sadhak. Okay, when he saved a girl from British soldiers in his young days, when he was participating in Satyagraha, there was a moment when he saved a girl from the British soldiers. For this act, he was called Abhay Sadhak, or the fearless.
What does Abhay Sadhak mean?
Abhay Sadhak means a fearless seeker of truth. Okay, that's a Abhay means it's a sadhu means Sadhak means sadhu. Okay, it's a seeker. Okay, and Abhay is someone who is a fearless. Okay, so fearless seeker of truth. Okay, so now after now there's a turning point in life that he came across a terribly affected leprosy patient. Okay, one day, leprosy is basically.
He had leprosy.
No, he didn't have leprosy. He came across during his volunteering days. He came across a patient who had leprosy, and in those days, leprosy patients were disowned by society. So if you had, that was very common that time. So if someone had a leprosy, the society will not treat them fairly. Okay, they will be boycotted. They will be
Because leprosy is very catching. What is leprosy?
Leprosy is a kind of a disease. Okay, skin disease. Okay, it's a kshay. In Hindi we call it kshay rog. Okay, so I'll try to get information. So there's a you can search about that thing. It's a very contagious disease. Yes. So where this basically affects the mostly skin and outer part of the. So and the person having that disease will have a very terrible life. So Baba Amte encountered such person, and that changed his life, and he started thinking about this because these patients were not treated fairly by society. There was no medical help. Okay, so in 1949, Baba Amte founded Maharogi Seva Samiti, and Kshay Rog or the leprosy was called Maharog. Okay, that time. Even today it is called Maharog because it's a kind of a dangerous disease. Okay,
like
cancer.
Smallpox.
Yeah. So he started the Maharogi Seva Samiti, MSS, with the intention of treating leprosy patients and removing the stigma attached to them. So stigma means hesitation. Okay, the people hesitate to interact with those people. Like currently we have stigma for the COVID. Okay? Earlier we had. Yeah. So this is a kind of a stigma we have. Okay, so people, if you come to know about someone, the people, even without knowing the details, people will reject that person. Okay, so so that kind of stigma, the social stigma was there. He wanted to break that thing. So he established an ashram called Anandvan. Okay, which is a garden of joy. Anandvan, what the meaning of Anandvan is? A garden of joy, which was inaugurated by Vinoba Bhave, who was another social activist. Okay. Now this MSS, which was the Maharogi Seva Samiti, spread all over Maharashtra. Maharogi, rog means disease. Okay, so Maharogi means is the biggest disease. Okay, so MSS, it started from Varda, it spread all over Maharashtra, and many organizations took inspiration from this work and they started similar activities. Baba Amte established 2 more leprosy centers over the time. Okay, so he did an amazing work for the leprosy patients. He dedicated his entire life for them. Okay, he also was an admirer of the national unity, and he organized something called Bharat Jago Abhiyan to reinfuse the spirit of national integration. In 1990, he also worked for the tribals affected by Narmada Dam project, and he is often referred as the last follower of Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, he received many accolades, many awards for his remarkable social work, and he himself lived a very simple life.
Last follower.
Basically, like over the time, okay, the ideals of Mahatma Gandhi were like diminished. Like he was the one. Is it considered that he was the last one who directly worked with Mahatma Gandhi and inherited his ideals? Okay. After that, post-independence,
because others left Mahatma Gandhi.
No, not that way. If you see, he was considered last follower. There are 2 reasons. One is he was the last surviving follower. Okay, the people who worked with Mahatma Gandhi, most of them died in early years. Okay, by 1970, 1980. So that is one reason. Another is he he was a strict Gandhian. He followed the ideal very diligently. Over the time, the ideals have been diluted. Okay, so it has been said in the literature that now we don't have the true Gandhi followers. Okay, so that is kind of a uh, perception that he was the last follower of Gandhi. Okay, who directly worked with Mahatma Gandhi and carried on his legacy. Okay, and he was awarded Padma Vibhushan in 1986 for his social service. So that's the story of Baba Amte. And the ashram is still there in Varta. And it's very amazing work he has done. The next story we have is an army officer, Lance Naik Albert Ekka. So what was his story? So Albert Ekka was born on 27 December 1942 in Zari village in Gumla district of Bihar, which is now in Jharkhand. He belonged to an Adivasi tribe, and he was raised in a small village, kind of a jungle, and he loved adventures and had exemplary hunting skills because he belonged to those tribes. So and that is why he became a very good army officer because of those natural instincts. So he joined army in 1962 at the age of 20. And he was a part of the 14 Guards of Indian Army. And during the India-Pakistan 1971 war, okay, so this war was majorly fought on the Eastern Front, the present-day Bangladesh, right? That is where the war was majorly fought. So that in Bangladesh, there was a railway station called Ganga Sagar, and it was a key railway station to reach Dhaka. So at that time, it was not Bangladesh, it was called East Pakistan. So it was a strategic location of the East Pakistan. Now the Ganga Sagar railway station was converted into a virtual fortress by the Pakistani forces. And Indian army, which was coming to take hold of the Dhaka to support the Bangladeshi revolutionaries, they were stopped at the Ganga Sagar railway station. They had to clear the path to reach Dhaka. So the Alpha and Bravo companies of the 14 Guards of Indian Army were given the task of capturing the station. They were told, okay, this was their task to clear that out. So on the night of 3rd December 1971, they launched an attack. So there is a heighted railway track. So they walked on the sides of the railway track, and beside that there was a lot of mud. So they were walking on the railway track to reach the station and to get hold of that. So Lance Naik Albert Ekka was with the Bravo company, who was guiding them. He was in the front. He was leading them. Again, it was a pitch dark night. They were chosen the night so that enemy cannot detect them. And suddenly, what happened that they were spotted by the enemy, because the enemy had placed a lot of what you can say wires and mines around that. So one of the soldiers tipped on that. Okay, so it set up the alarm. So the enemy came to know that the attack is coming. So they started firing on them. And they were in the bunkers. There were bunkers near the and there were buildings which were converted into bunkers near the railway station. From there, they started firing. And these guys were in open, so they were exposed. So what?
There were only 14 people.
Not 14 people. Yeah, there was a company, entire company. 14 Guard is the name of the unit. Okay.
Oh.
Okay. So yeah. So there was an entire unit, and there are two parts. The Alpha and Bravo companies. There are two companies marching for that. The Albert Ekka was a part of the Bravo company. So he saw that the enemy fire needs to be stopped. Someone needs to go there and shoot them down. So he charged ahead, clearing the one bunker. He jumped inside. He cleared one bunker. Okay, but he was hit in the bullet. He hit with a bullet on his arm, on his neck. So he started bleeding. So at that time, he saw that there was another enemy machine gun firing from a different bunker, and that was also blocking the path of Indian soldiers. Okay, so he, despite being injured, he crawled on the ground to the bunker, and then somehow managed to go inside, climbing the wall, and threw the grenade into the bunker. So that killed
the grenade.
Grenade, yes, grenade, hand grenade. Okay, so he threw that. And so he that killed one of the Pakistani soldiers, and then another soldier was killed by the bayonet, which is like a जो राइफल के आगे वो छुरा होता है ना, उससे उसको मारा उसको. So he killed the enemies. Ultimately, all the machine guns were silenced by him. Okay. And because of this, the Indian army can move forward, and they ultimately occupied the Gangasagar railway station. Okay. And this daring action ultimately.
But he died.
Yeah, but he suffered various injuries. So after the mission, he collapsed in the hands of this major, and he died there only. And for
Dinesh
this,
uncle, I didn't understand when he died.
yeah, so he completed his task. Okay, he cleared both the bunkers. Okay, without his own safety, but he was hit by bullets. Okay, in neck and in hand, so he was constantly bleeding. So after some time, he died there. Okay, he couldn't survive. So, but he managed. He successfully completed his mission. So, and the Battle of Gangasagar actually changed the course of the war in India's favor. Okay, it helped India win the entire war actually. And this entire battalion was awarded 3 Sena medals, one Veer Chakra and one Paramveer Chakra, which was given to Lance Naik Albert Ekta. And so that's the story of Albert Ekta. Okay. Yeah. The last story we have is Kanhaiya Maneklal Munshi, or as he was famously called, K.M. Munshi. So who was he? So he was born on 30th December 1887 in Bharuch town of Gujarat. And he studied at the Baroda College, uh, which was a nearby big city. And his teacher, one of his teachers was Aurobindo Ghosh. Aurobindo Ghosh was a revolutionary, yeah. So he was very much inspired by Aurobindo Ghosh. So Munshi was exceptional in studies, and after acquiring a degree in law, he again became a lawyer. He started practicing at the Bombay High Court. He became a successful lawyer. He also started writing novels. He was greatly influenced by Aurobindo Ghosh, and then he was influenced. After that, he was influenced by the Maharaja Sayajirao Rao of Baroda. Okay, of Mahatma Gandhi, Sardar Patel, Gulabhai Desai, all the leaders who belonged to Gujarat. He came in contact with them while he was doing law practice, and he was deeply inspired by them. He joined the revolutionary activities.
Many people from Gujarat who are like great leaders.
Yes, yes. So,
Yes.
yeah. So
And 6 to 6.
yes, but because K. Munshi was from Baroda, okay, and he was practicing in Bombay High Court, he came in contact with these people. So he was inspired by them. He jumped into the freedom struggle. So he did a lot of things. Okay, he became a revolutionary as he was inspired by the Aurobindo Ghosh. Revolutionary is someone who did the military or the armed revolt against the British, like Bhagat Singh or other the Udham Singh that we just saw and others. Okay, so there are a lot of other military organizations. So he was part of them. He even learned to make bombs. Okay, K.M. Munshi. After that, he came in.
Like Pritila, but like those people in the
Yes.
at Chittagong.
Yes, yes, yes. Right. Yes. Ram Prasad Bismil or this Surya Sen. Surya Sen. So those are the revolutionaries working in the different parts. Okay. So
Will we have Surya Sen uncle?
yes, yes. That story will come in March. Yes. Okay.
And Jawaharlal Nehru?
Jawaharlal Nehru story we already had in November. Right.
Oh, I must have missed it then.
Right. Yeah. Right. So so he after revolutionary he also joined the home rule movement, Kanhaiya Munshi. Home rule movement was something that was launched by Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Then he came in contact of Mahatma Gandhi. He became supporter of Congress. He started taking part in satyagrahas, and he was arrested multiple times. So he did a lot of things for the freedom struggle. He became a revolutionary. He became satyagrahi. Uh, During 1940s, he was a part of the flag committee that selected the national flag of India. He was one of the person to select the current Tiranga, okay, the flag we have, okay. He was one of the person to select that. He was also part of the drafting committee that created the constitution along with Baba Saheb Ambedkar, Rajendra Prasad, Sardar Patel. He was also there who drafted the constitution. One of the major contributions he did was the renovation of Somnath Temple. The Somnath Temple was a dream of Sardar Patel. Okay, after independence, because Somnath had a long history. Right? It was invaded multiples, like 17 times by the invaders. It was destroyed. So there was a need to restore it to its previous glory. So, but Sardar Patel died in 1950, and Munshi was the one who ensured that the temple is created and renovated. Yeah. He was also Minister of Food and Agriculture in Pandit Jawaharlal
A
Nehru.
temple and who?
Didn't get you, Aditi. Yeah.
Temple means like Ganesha temple, that kind of temple.
Somnath is a Shiv temple. Okay, it's a temple. Okay. Somnath is one of the Jyotirlings of India.
Where is it?
Somnath is in Gujarat. And the near, I would say Junagadh. Okay, Junagadh. It's actually Somnath is a beach. Okay, the temple is very close to beach. From temple you can see the Arabian Sea.
So they created the Jyotirlinga or was it already there?
It was already there. But Somnath, yeah, Somnath
So
is
it just created a temple over it.
Yeah, Somnath. So I can give you a brief history of Somnath. So as I mentioned, Somnath was a very famous temple in the ancient time, and Muhammad Ghori was the one who, and it was a very rich temple. Okay, so it was.
He broke it.
Yeah, he broke it.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah, not once, but it was broken 17 times. Okay, but it became like a symbol of symbol of resilience. Yeah. Yes?
Every Indian who was a freedom fighter against the British, they were arrested by the British.
Mm-hmm. I didn't get your question.
I'm asking.
Can you please repeat the question?
He's asking, was every freedom fighter of India arrested by the British?
So that's a long story. Like there are a lot of freedom fighters. Okay, like everyone was a freedom. We can say freedom fighter from.
But I don't think all of them were arrested.
Yes,
Few
yes.
of
Like,
them were not arrested.
So there are different things. British did. Like some of them they hang, they kill, like Bhagat Singh, Udham Singh. Like some others like Savarkar and others. They were sent to Andaman jail, Kala Pani ki saja. Okay, so they were sent there. So they were, and some were jailed in India. Okay, but yeah, lot of people were arrested. If you see, more than lakhs of people, more than 10 lakh people were arrested or hanged by British that time. But there was not a single organization. Yeah, there were a lot of people doing, and this is we are talking about only the 19th century. Okay, before that we had a revolution of 1857 where the Rani Lakshmibai, Tatya Tope, and others were there. So they were. Yeah, that's a huge number. I don't have a specific figure, but I think it is more than 10 lakh people. Okay, who were part of the freedom struggle, who were arrested or were killed by the British. Okay, so there are a lot of people were there. Okay, so yeah. So now let's complete the story of K.M. Munshi. So he served as a Minister of Agriculture in Pandit Nehru's cabinet, and he was the one who initiated something called Van Mahotsav in 1950. Which is, what is Van Mahotsav? Is a 1 week tree planting festival, which is normally celebrated in the first week of July. So this is something he started, okay, for the conservation of forest. From 1952 to 1957, he served as a governor of Uttar Pradesh. Then he left Congress along with Rajaji. He started the Swatantra Party. And outside politics, he was a great educationist, established a number of academic institutions, including the Bharati Vidyapit Bhavan in Mumbai, which is a very famous institute in Mumbai. So he started that. He started an Institute of Agriculture in Anand in Gujarat. And he was a writer, as I mentioned. He was a prolific writer in Gujarati, English, Hindi, and wrote more than 125 books. Mostly fictional books or storytelling books, kind of thing. He also wrote a good book on Somnath Temple. He did one of very good books on that. So
is his Somnath temple still there?
Yes. as I mentioned, after independence, it was renovated by Kanhaiya Munshi. It was, I think, in 1952 or 56, it was inaugurated. It is a wonderful temple right now. I went there like 15 years back in 2004 or 5. I went there. It is amazing temple. Okay, there. Yeah, it is on the coast of Gujarat. Yeah, near Diu. If you see that, it is the Union Territory Diu. It is very near to that place. So that's the story of K.M. Munshi. So now we know all these people, right? We have
Yes.
Kanhaiya Munshi. We have Albert Ekka, who won the Paramveer Chakra for.
Can't hear you, uncle.
Now can you hear me? Yeah. So we have Albert Ekka, then Udham Singh, who revenged the Jallianwala Bagh, and Baba Amte. Yeah. So we learned about.
We had done Baba Amte some time ago, I think.
No, okay. In our stories, we have not done that. Okay, we have done someone similar. Yeah. So that's the story we have. Okay, and these are the stories of the December month. We completed the December month. This week we had few stories. We'll cover them in the next week. So that's all for today. For quiz, I'll send out the link. Okay, you can do it offline whenever you get time. Okay, this will be very simple. 8 questions will be there. So it should be fun. Do it at your convenience. Okay.
Can we do it now?
Yeah, you can do it now as well. The reason why I am doing this is one is the timing restriction, and the second is those who are not able to attend, then they can also do this. Okay, so you can do it right now as well. You can let me know. Anyway, I will come to know. Okay, whenever you will do it, I'll anyway come to know about.
Will you send this, right?
Yes, I will send it. Okay, here also I will send. I will also send over the WhatsApp. Okay, so yeah, you can. Yeah, so you can do this. So I send the link. Okay, you can see in the chat. So just enjoy the quiz and keep reading about these people. Okay, and do visit the places now after COVID when the things open. Okay, so do some of these are very amazing places actually, like the Somnath.
Uncle, but you'll send it on the WhatsApp group too, right?
Yes, I will also send it on WhatsApp group. Yes. So and wherever you go, okay, if you visit to Varda, you will come to know about Baba Amte's work there. Okay? And if we happen to go to different places in Punjab, there is a memorial of Udham Singh. So just go there. Okay. Like Jallianwala Bagh is another very memorable place actually. Now they have converted into kind of a memorial. It's a garden. Still, it is a garden. It has all the historic memories there. So whenever you go, just remember this. Okay. So thank you for attending and thanks for coming. I hope you have enjoyed. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Good. So thank you again. Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye.
Bye, sir.
Bye.